Hi guys, can you guess what we're gonna do today? I'm gonna do these fun paint chip brushes. So let's get started. So here's the paintbrush stencil. I believe it's like 17.5 inches long. So it's pretty big, and there are some loose pieces here. So when we actually do it, I'm gonna use a repositionable spray on the back to hold it down really, really nicely. But I did find if you want the end of the bristles with color in them, it's easier to do that first. I have this 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and that's just what I happen to have, so that's why I'm using this at an angle. And I know the end of this paintbrush will fit right here, and the whole bristle line will fit here. If you are using a big, huge sheet of paper and just measuring, you could just measure from here to here and draw a line. So I know about right here, and about right here straight across. Down here is where I want the color. You could draw a line, but I just kind of folded it because by the time I'm done, you'll never see that. And I know down here I want to put some color. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just putting it on there and then I'll stencil over the top. And it works so much better than if I stencil it and try to get the paint in. It doesn't have to go all the way up. It can just be in bits and pieces, but it looks a lot more natural this way. Okay. I'm gonna let this dry and then we're gonna stencil over the top in black. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm turning it over and I have this Pixie spray. It's a light tack repositionable adhesive for stencils, but you can buy any type of a repositionable spray. And I'm just going to move it over here, but I'm moving it out of the way a little and I'm just gonna lightly spray it. Especially these little bits here that will want to move. It's got a little bit of a tack on there, and so I'm going to line this up here at the top. And see that fits on there, and it's covering the paper. And then down here at the bottom, you can see where it's filled in. So I'm just using some black paint, my stencil brush, put paint on the brush, tap off to get a lot of it off. Start here at the top, up and down, up and down. So this is definitely where you want to go up and down, and I'm still, even though I've tacked it, I'm still holding it because there's such small pieces in here. Yeah, I only had to load my brush one time. The stencil's big, but there's not a lot of opening. Let's take this off. Voila. So just let this dry, and that should just take a moment or two because this is on paper, so it dries fairly quickly. Okay, so now this is dry. I am going to cut it out. I'm just cutting a little zigzag, just following the pattern so it's not a perfect straight brush edge. So now I'm going to age this and seal it, and then we're going to glue our stick on the back. So I'm using just a Distress Oxide. I'm using Vintage Photo. You could actually have done the same concept and painted the top part also, or different colors before you stenciled it. I just wanted to leave that, and I am just going to rub this on here and lightly spray. Let this dry and seal it. I wanted to use a gloss on this one. You don't need to. I'm just using my polyacrylic sealer, and it's a clear gloss. Okay, I'll let this dry. Okay, you can see that when this dries, it's going to crinkle up a little, and I really want it nice and flat. So I'm just going to lay this down, add a piece of parchment paper to it, and iron it flat. Now we're gonna add our stick to him. So I'm using this stick for the back, and it'll hold it nicely and right width. But these were actually for some shutters I had that had fallen apart, and I kept the sticks to use. But the first thing I want to do, I'm going to make a tiny hole and make sure I have this lined up, that the stick is close to the bottom but not hanging off, and this is all covered. Take my pencil, a little dot there. Okay, and I'm just using this 1/16 inch hole punch, but you could probably just drill a little hole, carefully use a nail. So at least then I know where I want this lined up on here. So I'm using this heavy duty double stick tape, and I think I have this listed on my favorite things. You probably could use a paint stir stick. You just need to measure the width to see if it fits back there. So I really wanted this lined up. So what I did is I took this pokey tool, And this was the easiest way for me to line them up. I know that's where the hole was. Then I put this through the hole in here. It's kind of tough with this. This is such a strong tape. Pulling it off is not as easy as you would think. So I found this actually worked really well at lining it up, getting it on, and then I was on there nice and centered. And there you go. So I hope you guys thought this was easy. It really, really was easy. This is probably one of the easiest stencils I've ever used. So whether you use it on a table, on a chair, or you would like to try this fun project, now that you have holes in them, you could hang them like a garland. You could even put them in a little bucket and show all these fun paint colors. So if you're interested in the stencil, we'll have it in the link below, in the description below the video. And if you don't have the stencil, you know, you can use any type of a large stamp. You could draw your own paintbrush. Maybe you have a large marker or a pen or some other fun stencil or that you would like to draw out. But I hope you guys give this a shot. I'd love to see what you do, and thanks for watching.